It is secondly a matter of pride that after years of violent confrontations, conflict and deadlocks, and political fallout, dominating the political scenario for decades due to contentious issues on empowerment of the women with political concessions to allow to share political decision-making power with the men folk. Another issue is on the taxation issues. But most surprisingly, in most unexpected way, it was resolved, and now we see that 33% reservation for the women folk in urban bodies with very little oppositions. It is certainly a very positive change of mind on the minds of the people. Allow me in this august house to express a word of appreciation to those who are mainly responsible for such positive change of events. I feel it's pertinent to express such. Firstly, the persistent struggles of the women folk, especially those leaders who were determined and firm to carry on till they achieve their legitimate goal against any form of obstacles and oppositions. Ultimately, they achieve it. Secondly, credit should go to Honorable Chief Minister, who with his political and administrative experience on governance and his political wisdom gained over the years, managed to bring about a balancing act between the two opposite camps for the last more than, as mentioned by earlier speakers, for more than 20 years. Ultimately, they saw the reason in the right perspective and brought about a grand compromise, which is the most welcoming kind of event. It is certainly a turning point in the socio-political history of the Nagas, which we need to record, as our appreciation for their contributions. However, one point of disappointment which I have observed on glancing through the act and also the press statement given by the leaders of the Select Committee. It's about the power of imposing tax. Most importantly, the avenue to move up revenue for municipal or town council is definitely on land and buildings. Honorable Leader of the Committee has already explained, of course, the reason why the omission, which was deliberate. I am not suggesting to reject the bill as such, but it is not a voice of dissent, but I want to express a voice of concern, because I am just wondering whether the power to impose taxes on the item listed out in the relevant Chapter 1, Part 4, shall be able to manage effectively to carry on with the responsibilities of cleaning up and managing the town facilities, and also for development of amenities in the townships, which is quite challenging. We all want a very clean town all over with all basic facilities, such as proper maintenance of roads, drainages, garbage free and private lighting, water supply, footpaths, and such other facilities, which is lacking in most of our townships in Nagaland, except perhaps in Kohima, where, because of the smart city project, these are improving to a large extent. To finance them, adequate resources is required. But from where do we get that funding, that resources? Naga people talk so much about self-reliance, independent. But I think our mind is still trapped in the dependency mentality. People are refusing to part with any contribution to finance maintenance of urban facilities, but expect the best, clean and managed facilities. We as leaders of the House and leaders of the people, I think should also be partly responsible for such ignorance on the part of the people. Because we are the leaders, we are responsible to make them enlightened on all these implications. We all know, of course, that ultimately the supreme power lies with the people in democratic setup. However, we should also be convinced to see that populist demands are not necessarily always right. It is our responsibility to really make the people realize what is wrong, what is good in short-term and long-term perspectives. No taxations in the urban development of urban areas. I think it is, in fact, in favor of the rich people. As we all know, the multi-story buildings, big business establishment in all the townships belong to the richer people, but not the common and poor people. Who can afford to pay taxes for the maintenance of urban facilities, and especially garbage disposal, etc.? But I think it is really convenient for not taxing for the richer people. The biggest responsibility of the urban development is garbage disposals and the cleaning of the town facility, etc. Issue is, how do we fund it? The taxation provision which is given in this book, in the chapters, definitely I feel these are definitely very good, no doubt. But I think we have avoided the most important area where taxes become really moved up. Not for any misuse as such, but for financing the maintenance of such urban facilities, which we all want every town to maintain. It is, in a way, I think, failure on the part of the leaders like us, I think, which should also be, I think, partly feel responsible. Secondly, our Naga people talk so much about infringement of the constitutional provision number 371A. I am really wondering how this taxations on the building for the maintenance, for our own use, for our own benefit, in public interest, can really infringe this. These are the issue, I think, which we need to really enlighten the people. In fact, taxation of building or land to finance urban facilities and for amenities developmental process. In opposing such measures is really the kind of a mentality or the policy, which I strongly feel that in the next possible, shortest possible way, we need to really, I think, make some sort of compromise and amend this issue, perhaps. With this voice of concern, I do support passing of this bill so that at least the facilities and the development activities in our Nagaland Municipal and Town Councils is really speedy up, which we've been missing for many years. Thank you so much, sir.